I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight, the gallery and the virtual gallery. Welcome to this evening's meeting. Just a couple of important items I'd like to share with you. Our council meeting is being recorded and live streamed onto our website, and you can access this recording via our website at any time you wish. We'd also like you to respect the presence of the councillors and each other within this forum. Can you please stand for acknowledgement of the country? I would like to start the meeting by acknowledging and extending my appreciation for the Judja-Wurrung people, the traditional owners of the land we are standing on tonight. We pay our respects to leaders, elders, past, present and future and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions and the culture and the hopes of the Judja-Wurrung people. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. And the prayer. Thank you, Councillor. Almighty God, we ask you to be present in this council, direct and guide our deliberations. We ask you grant us wisdom and sensitivity as we deal with the business of Central Goldfields Shire. May each decision that we make advance the well-being of our residents. This we pray. Amen. Now we can be seated. Items number 2, there are no apologies that I know of. That there is no apologies. Item number 3, declarations of conflict of interest. Councillor Long, you have it.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to declare a conflict of interest on item 7.1. I'm the founding president of the Central Goldfields Bushwalking and Hiking Club Inc. and have been for nearly 2 years. The Central Goldfields Bushwalking and Hiking Club Inc. and CMRT, Castlemaine Maryborough Rail Trail, which opposed the Broiler Farm development, recently organised a walk along the Malort Plains railway line from Malort Silo to Bulgaria Hill to consider the likely impact that this development would have on the proposed rail trail if the farms are approved. I'm hence declaring a conflict of interest, and I humbly request being excused from the debate and the vote on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Long. Going to item number 4, confirmation of minutes from previous council meeting. Do we have a mover? Councillor Bartlett. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Murphy. All those in favour? Minutes read? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Items 5. Minutes of delegated and advisory committees. There are none. Petitions? There are none. We'll proceed to the officers' reports. And number 1, 7.1, is Councillor's first report of the night, which is DO 061-23705 Barringup Road, Carisbrook. Do I have a mover for this motion?
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, may I be excused, please?
You can be excused. Thank you. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Murphy.
The recommendation that Council A receive and note the late information submitted by Alison Tees and provided as attachment 1. B, receive and note the late information submitted by Victor Young provided as attachment 2 and 3. C, receive and note prior correspondence from Agriculture Victoria dated 20th December 2024 provided as attachment 3. Receive and note prior correspondence from the Environmental Protection Authority dated 19th December 2024 and provided as attachment 4. And E, as was in the original recommendation by the agenda, the Council, as the responsible authority in pursuant to Section 61 of the Planning and Environmental Act 1987, determined that it had an application to VCAT for a review under section 79 of the Act not been made, would have issued a notice of decision to refuse a permit in respect of planning permit application number 061-23 for the use and development of a Class B broiler farm for up to 400 birds and a caretaker's house with associated buildings and works at 705 Baronet Road, Carisbrook. Now, the following grounds, point 1 to 11, is in the agenda, and we'll say that as read. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Green.
Second.
Seconder, please.
I'll second.
Councillor Green.
Oh.
Councillor Murphy, would you like to speak to that motion?
Yes, thank you. Madam Mayor? DO 061-23-705 Baronet Road, Carisbrook. Broiler. This application by Ian Hurst and Robert Hurst, the applicants, has not met the required standard. It is a poor application, and it appears that Ian and Robert Hurst have presumed this will just be ticked off while not on this watch. It lacks substance. More importantly, and no less, to the landowners around the property, 5 k's away, neighbours, next door, there are true concerns. We've heard these concerns. We've had the farmers in. We've had people on the side of the road who can't walk on the side of the road because of the trucks. There's things that are happening now on the 3 other farms, which I know it's not to this farm, but you can presume they will keep happening. This thing with the actual 39 objections, to me, is very relevant. That alone is a point of refusal for myself. As a shire, we cannot just let these chicken farms, factories, blight the landscape. We must, with all our beings, fight against these. Billion Farms on the Hurst land already operate 3 of these large chicken farms on the Malore Plains. And as of our objectors a week ago, it is an understanding they may be looking to put several more on the Malore Plains. This is rather emotional for us. Don't know if the emotion should get into it. But we are here for our community. There's only a few jobs at the end of the day that will be on these farms. There's only a few jobs which will build it, only a few people from this area will be on the workforce. So I say to the applicants, Ian and Robert Hurst, enough is enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Green.
Thank you, Mayor.
You have 3 minutes.
I was moved by the sincerity and substance of the objectors' submissions. They range from subjective to an objective basis, people being properly very upset, but also making assertions in respect to, amongst other things, the following: the adverse impact on the sensitive Malort wetlands themselves, the values of properties of affected parties, the health, physical and mental of the affected persons, the diminishment of humanity and the ability to enjoy a rural country life, both amenity and running businesses. Councillor Murphy, you've already mentioned the traffic aspects with the huge amount of heavy haulage, which necessarily is part of these operations, the impact on safety and also the roads themselves would be, in my view, substantial. Also refer to the submissions made in the accumulation of these many heads of paying. It's not just one chicken farm. We must take into account an accumulation of these adverse impacts. I failed to mention before that I myself, during a fog event, went out to the area and could hardly breathe. So I know what that feels like. So with that, I'd just like to say thank you to the objectors for coming in, and some of a young age too. And they also spoke with intelligence and sincerity.
Thank you, Councillor Green. Does anyone oppose this motion? Given that no one's opposed this motion, I will put that to the vote. All in favour of the motion, hands up please. That is unanimous.
No need to have a division, please.
Division, I will call for a division. All those in favour of the motion, hands. Councillor Villiers, Councillor Green, Councillor Lavella, Councillor Bartlett, Councillor Murphy and Councillor Myers. Thank you very much. Division noted. Thank you. We'll now move on to our next agenda item once we get Councillor back. Item 7.2. Council's second report on tonight's agenda is on page 100 and it is entitled Quarterly Finance Report March 2025. Do councillors have a motion? Who? Councillor De Villiers.
I've just got to navigate my screen. Okay, so the recommendation is that council receives and notes the quarterly finance report for March 2025. Would you like to repeat it?
That's fine, thank you. Thank you, Councillor De Villiers. Can I have a seconder for this motion, please? Councillor Long. Councillor De Villiers, would you like to speak to this motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I would like to just a few words. 5 months ago, I was a little down in the dumps about financial position of council. I know officers put in a huge amount of work to go through it, to find savings everywhere. And reading through the financial statements, it's looking much better. And I would just like to point out that the income statement for the period up to 31st of March 2025 shows a deficit of 0.2 million, so that's $200,000, which I think is hugely good, because in the past it was a much higher figure. The balance sheet shows unrestricted cash is currently $1 million and is expected to increase over the year, which is fantastic news. So congratulations to all the officers for all the hard work This is impressive. And then I would just like to add that the working capital and council's cash position remains a key focus for council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Villiers. Councillor Long.
Nothing further to add, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Is there anyone against this item? I'll put it to vote. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to item 7.3, the VEC election report on the Central Goldfields Shire 2024 elections. Do I have a mover? Councillor de Villiers.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, the recommendation is that council receive and note the VEC's election report on the council election held on the 26th of October 2024.
Do I have a seconder for this motion? Councillor Murphy. Councillor de Villiers, do you wish to speak to this?
Yeah, just a quick word. It's really interesting to read this report. It has to be done within as soon as possible after the elections, reporting on how the election was conducted on the day. And it's really interesting to just read again the data and the statistics represented in this report of what really transpired on that day. So I would recommend makes for good bedtime reading.
Thank you. Do I have anyone that opposes this motion? There's no opposition. I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? That is indeed unanimous. Moving on to 7.4. This is the fourth report on tonight's agenda, which is on page 175. It's entitled Public Road Register Policy. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Bartlett, thank you.
Do I speak to it first?
You speak to the recommendation.
The council rescinds its public road register policy 2021 and notes that council officers will manage the register of public roads in accordance with the Road Management Act 2004 and council's road management plan.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for this motion? Councillor Murphy.
Thank you,
Would
Mayor.
you like to
Yes.
speak to this?
Just a few comments that I've observed. It's good to see we're making some headway, progressing and dealing with governance issues. The identifying of unnecessary duplication of a policy management tool, already covered by the Road Management Act, is one of many welcome signs to me of the refocused emphasis the ICEO and the officers have placed upon governance issues affecting the operational structure of the Shire. So it may only seem like a small matter, but as I've learned from my time on the Audit and Risk Committee, those small things really do matter, and it's nice to see them being addressed and helping out with the operational performance of the entity. So thank the officers for their report, and wholly support and endorse the rescinding of the policy.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bartlett. Councillor Murphy.
Nothing more to say.
Nothing more to say. And I do apologise, I didn't ask you to have a say in the last item. Thank you. Does anyone oppose this motion? Those in favour? Again, that is unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Moving on to item 7.5. Councillors, this is the fifth report in tonight's agenda. It's on page 195 and is entitled Building Compliance and Enforcement Policy. Do we have a mover of this recommendation? Councillor Green. Thank you, Councillor. Would you read out the recommendation, please?
Thank you. That, Mayor, the Council adopts the Building Compliance and Enforcement Policy, which will detail Council's legal responsibilities with respect to the Building Act 1993 Victoria and also the Building Regulations 2008 Victoria. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Green. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bartlett. Councillor Green, would you like to speak to this?
No, thank you.
No? Councillor Bartlett, do you wish to speak to this?
I'll just reinforce some of the comments made in the report was on risk management, and just coming off the back of the Audit and Risk Committee take on things. A failure to respond to complaints of dangerous or illegal building work may result in litigation and substantial reputational damage where a death or injury is resulted from council's failure to act or cause a delay in making buildings and or land safe. And I think there's many examples around the shire. We see things and the officers are quick to move on those things and bring the house into order. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bartlett. Do I have anyone that opposes this motion? If no one's opposing, may I have a show of hands, all in favour? Again, that is unanimous. Thank you, councillors. 7.6, Councillor, so this is the sixth report on tonight's agenda and is on page 204 and is entitled 2025 Local Laws Final Version for Consultation. Do I have a motion? Councillor Murphy.
Recommendation that Council resolves to release the final draft General Local Laws 2025 for public consultation for the period 2nd of June to the 27th of June 2025.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Myers. Councillor Murphy, would you like to speak to this motion?
So this is a draft General Local Laws so the public can have a look and councils can have a thorough look as well, more thorough look. And to bring it back on the 27th of June if you want to make some comment to it, if you're not quite sure of something, if you want to add something. But this is a part of a process, and the process is we do the General Local Law, it'll stay for a number of years and it goes on again at later dates. But these things need to be evolved and moved on, and if the public anybody wishes to look, put a suggestion in, and it'll be looked at, and the local laws may change, may not change, but at the end of the day, we need local laws so the community is safe and we can go walk in the one direction, I suppose. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Myers, would you like to speak to this?
I've got no further to add to Mr Murphy's comments.
Thank you. Do I have any opposition to this motion? No opposition. I will put it to the vote. All in favour? Again, that is unanimous. Councillor Murphy, you in favour? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That is carried. 7.7 on the agenda, councillors, the seventh report tonight is on page 259 and is entitled Visitor Economy Partnerships. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Murphy.
Recommendation. The Council approves membership to Destination Central Victoria, that's its working title, as a new visitor economy partnership for the region. Approves the legal incorporation to join Destination Central Victoria, working title, as an official visitor economy partnership for the region. Notice that the annual contribution as presented in the report. Oh, sorry. Let's start again.
Is it on?
It's on there. I kept turning off. Someone's kept these on.
I apologise for this delay. We've got tech problems.
There we go. How's that? Now mine's on as well. I'll start from the beginning, as I should. Council approves membership to Destination Central Victoria as a new visiting economy Partnership for the Region. Approves the legal incorporation to join Destination Central Victoria as an official visitor economy partnership for the region. Notes that the annual contribution as presented in the report will be outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding aligned with the state government funding agreement. Notes the Destination Central Victoria Management Plan as a key strategic document for visitors economy partnership to be implemented.
Second. Who's the seconder, please? Councillor de Villiers. Councillor Murphy, would you like to speak to this?
Yes. This matter has robust debate around this table, and with the officers. It was very good, robust debate, I must admit. Was I a fence sitter a number of weeks ago? I probably was a fence sitter, and a bit of barbed wire was around me at some stage. But as it become more relevant, that this situation here, joining with Hepburn Leicestershire, Alexander and ourselves is a better fit than being with Bendigo, Loddon and over that way. Now, what this also gives us into a system that's already working. So Dales to Macedon and Hepburnshire is already doing this, and we're moving in underneath the umbrella, and we're going to be part of that as well. And it works, especially works in those shires. If you go to Kyneton, if you go to Daylesford, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what happens there. So it also means that there's $350,000 coming from the state government into this entity. It's going into this entity. It's not going to another entity, it's going into this entity to work on the promotion of our tourism, our retail, our spend in this area. Sometimes you think that we're on the end of things. Like we're little people sometimes, we're on the end of it. But we now are moving into an area where we are with shires who are like us. Same capacity, not a big 100,000 people shire. I'm happy about that. I'm happy that we're doing this for 2 years to see how we go, to see how the data comes up, and the budget is in the budget, and we don't have to spend any more money because the budget's the budget, and when we pass the budget, that's what the budget is. We'll have a person on the board. Who that will be, don't know, but we'll have a person on the board with the other councils, and that'll go forward as well. So I'd like to thank the officers for allowing us as a council group to debate this, to talk about it, probably time and time again till we understand it. I can understand, I'm a bit on the fence on some of the issues, but I can understand the big issues. And to do it and to go forward on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor de Villiers, would you like to speak to this?
Thank you. I'd just like to add that marketing our region has always been a focus for me, and we're under-resourced to really effectively market our shire, and hopefully this will be a good outcome for us as a council.
Thank you, Councillor. Is there any councillor in opposition to this motion? Councillor Arthur.
Yes, Mayor, I'm in opposition to the motion. To speak to why I can't support the recommendation. The cost is the primary one for me. Current $10,000 per annum is the current price we pay. We're going to go up to $30,000 next year, this year, and $40,000 for the year after, and that's all happening during this so-called cost of living crisis and the time of restrained budgets that we face. We already have a poor-looking budget and need to show fiscal responsibility and save as much money as we can. As we discussed earlier. We're down $700,000, or the variance was $700,000 from where we would like to have been. I find fundamentally in this report it's not fully correct. I acknowledge the tourism comes from the south, as outlined in the report. That does not, the report fails to mention our historic economic catchment area. Now, as we've had explained, the new name also seeks to not only address issues of tourism but the broader economy as well. So for the report to not include any mention of our economic catchment to our north and west is not giving us the entire picture. From Marnu to Malden, Riola, Redbank, St Arnott, Wedderburn, Amphitheatre and Clunes, they're all areas outside of our local government area, but they've all contributed to our economy greatly over decades, going back to when motor cars became prevalent after the Second World War. Experienced this myself, having over 40 years experience in the retail industry. So another point not included was also prospecting. How much gold prospecting adds to our economy, I'd very much like to know, and those points weren't addressed. Also, culturally, Maryborough's culture and identity has almost nothing to do with Kyneton or Dalesford, except for when we used to play football together in the BFL, the Bendigo Football League. So I don't think a vast majority of residents would appreciate the expenditure of our funds on an entity culturally removed from us. I still prefer to stay in the Bendigo region and more associated with Modern Shire. So that's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bartlett. I have a question about notice in relation to the budgeted amount.
Yeah.
Is that included in our budget? I know this has been going on for a number of years, the research and investigatory side of this. Will I ask you or will I ask Emma without notice? I'm sorry, Emma, to put you on.
Not a problem at all. Through you, Mayor, it certainly is included in the draft budget, which will be adopted by Council at the June ordinary meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have someone for this motion? Anyone want to speak for the motion? No, therefore, Councillor Murphy, you have right of reply.
Like I said, I was on the fence on this, and I'm the one who I can talk about it because I've been here for a while. $30,000, which is this year, next financial year, $40,000 the year after, allows us to tap into what happens at the Hebbonshire's money goes in. What's the other council? Bassenshire goes in, and the new one is Mount Alexander and us are both going. We're the brand new ones, right? Allows that to happen. So what we miss out on if we don't do this, we'll miss out on $350,000 as a collective comes in from the state government. Now we've got to think like this. Now the state government actually controls things, don't they? Overall. And they don't really want us to be in the Bendigo region. They want us to be in this region. So if we said no to this, we'd stand alone by ourselves. We stand alone, and the money we have got to do this is $10,000, which was in the budget last year. So we're going to put in $30,000, bringing in probably over $500,000 with the other shires, and the government allows us to go forward, have professional people do websites, have professional people to market us, and to go, even though some of me wonders about doing things ourselves, but at the end of the day, the state government goes, yep, this is where we'd like you to go. Here's your little kicker, $350,000. I'm happy with it. So I'm saying that's the reason why, one of the reasons why we should go for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. I will now put this to a vote. Those in favour of the motion? Those against the motion? Thank you. That is carried. Calling for a division? Division called. Those in favour of the motion? Councillor de Villiers, Councillor Long, Councillor Green, Councillor Lavella, Councillor Murphy and Councillor Myers. Those against? Councillor Butler. Thank you very much, councillors. We now move on to 7.8. This is the 8th report on tonight's agenda and it is on the page 263 and is entitled 2024 Energy Breakthrough Evaluation. Do I have a mover for this, Councillor Long? I wouldn't even have to think.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to move that the Council endorse the 2024 Energy Breakthrough Event debrief report as attached to the agenda.
Thank you, Councillor. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bartlett. Would you like to speak to this, Councillor?
Yes, please. My favourite time of the year, as everyone knows. It's my great pleasure to move this motion to endorse the Energy Breakthrough EB Event Debrief Report. Energy Breakthrough is jointly managed and delivered by Council and Country Educational Partnership through a special committee of Council called the Governance Group, of which I'm a Council delegated member. EB is the largest and longest running science, technology, engineering and maths STEM educational program in the country. The event hosted in Maryborough each year for over 30 years is the largest annual event in the Central Goldfields Shire. Following the 2024 event, RM Consulting Group, RMCG, again facilitated a strategic planning session on Monday, the 2nd of December 24, with 26 key stakeholders, including representatives from Central Goldfields Shire, the Country Education Partnership, volunteers and myself. The debrief report was then compiled following this session, giving us a snapshot of what transpired during the week-long event in November last year. It is a professionally developed document and I would like to commend everyone involved for the time and effort that went into producing this report. It covers off on implementation and initiatives to improve the overall flow of the event, as well as event improvements and tweaks. In 2024, the committee continued with the model introduced in 23 to mitigate rising costs post-pandemic. This model resulted in savings of over 100,000 in overheads compared to the 22 event. In 24, the committee continued with this model and with increased sponsorship income, the forecasted deficit for the 24-25 financial year covered by council contribution is $250,000, which was $30,000 less than the 23-24 contribution. Like previous years, the event attracted teams from all over Victoria and some from interstate. It saw a 10% increase in entries and school participation compared to 23, with 262 teams from 108 schools registered. A total of 3,500 students, teachers and families camped across the site during the 5-day event, which contributed an estimated $3.8 million to the local economy. And that's just phenomenal. While it's good to reflect on last year's event, the Governance Committee are certainly not sitting on their haunches with work for the 25 event well underway. Happy to move this report, Mayor, and hope that the 2025 event will be even bigger and better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The seconder, would you like to speak to it? No?
Nothing further.
Nothing further. Anyone oppose this motion? Councillor Murphy.
I'm opposing the motion because I can speak. And that's the reason why. Maybe I won't oppose it when I put my hand up, but I oppose it to speak. I'm concerned that we pay $250,000, which is what we have been paying $250,000 for a number of times. I'm concerned with that. I am really concerned that the big boys, I'm not going to count who they are, the big boys, because multinationals don't put big money into this event. Massively concerned about that. And I think that we should really be putting the squeeze on some of these big multinationals to actually put some more money into this event. We can't afford to pay out $250 and if it goes out $300. We can't afford to do that. But we do it because it's a great community event. It really is a very good event. I actually was volunteering in the rubbish area this year for the 5 days, picking up rubbish and blah, blah, blah. But what I saw is on a Saturday night, there weren't many people around. Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, not many people around. I didn't see like it was pre-COVID, and that's where my head is. I'm going back to when there was people everywhere, people staying. I can't stand where we're trying to get our numbers back, but it is interesting that on a Saturday night you could walk straight up to the barriers and watch, where it used to be you have to stand 2 or 3 deep. I'm concerned about that. I think it's great for all the clubs and the teams that volunteer, and they make a bit of money out of it. You know, the cricket clubs, the football clubs, this club, that club, you know, Rotary, they all get a bit out of it, which is really good. And I think the event is absolutely fantastic, don't get me wrong. But I'm speaking now because I have to speak to a no to be able to have a speak. And I'm just thinking that maybe we need to find more money in sponsorship. The event's great, more money in sponsorship. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Councillor. Bad example to set, but you had your say. And given it wasn't against the motion, I will now put the motion. No right
It is against.
May I have a right of reply?
No right of reply because he was not against the motion. So I will call those for the motion. That is unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Oh, I saw that coming. Item number 8, councillors' reports and general business. There are nil. Items number 9, notices of motion. There are no notices of motion, councillors. Nil. Urgent business. There is no urgent business tonight. We are now moving into another segment of our meeting, which is confidential. It will be in camera. So I'm looking for a motion to move. Confidential business. We are moving into confidential business. The next item of business is confidential reports, and we do have 2 reports listed which contain personal information, being information which is released would result in the unreasonable disclosure of important information about any person or their personal affairs. So that's why we're going in camera. So I am looking for someone to close the meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to move that we close the meeting for confidential business. Thank you.
Can I have a seconder? Councillor Murphy. In favour? 4. Now, we will be closing this meeting now.